Hello guys, welcome to Players Guild. My name is Loki, and today we are on the eve of Mercenaries coming finally live. So many people are excited. So many comments on the last video as well. Thank you very much for everyone who watched. I do read all the comments and I will try to adjust to all your suggestions as well. And in the meantime, tomorrow we are going to be doing live stream on the release of Mercenaries. Look out for that event coming out on our YouTube. It's going to be a live stream. Feel free to join. I will be playing through the night. I will most likely be trying out some of the compositions for PvE or PvP. So just come hang out. We're going to be opening over 100 packs. 130, 140, I think 150 packs is going to be opened tomorrow. Before that, this is the last of the theory crafting that I have done for Mercenaries. This is the 7th one. This is going to be orcs, as you've already seen by the thumbnail. And I'm going to be talking about the one that I made. Then I'm going to be talking about the PvP composition that people are talking about, because someone was asking about that as well. So I'm going to explain more or less how the composition works. If you want to see how it works, you would need to join in on the stream tomorrow or on Wednesday. I'm going to be streaming a lot for the next 2 days, so make sure to join in. I'm going to be showing off how the BXT, as it has been dubbed, is working, which is, yeah, you're going to see what it is. I'm going to be talking about that in details. What else? What else can I say? All of those theory crafting that I've done is going to be tested and is going to be adjusted. More in details videos are going to be coming about that. This is more of a color alarm just started. Lovely. This is more of a my take on how I would build initially the compositions. Then I'm going to be testing them, and only then I'm going to be going in depth. I'm going to going through all the abilities. Today I'm not going to be going through the abilities. I'm just going to be talking about the general choices, and then I'm going to be taking them one by one through. There is going to be probably a video a week about the compositions, but there's going to be more gameplay coming in as well. Some standalone gameplay videos of some good games, or maybe some bounties or some other guides. We'll see how it goes, but like a composition, I wouldn't say deck profile, but composition profile is going to be done once a week, most likely, with all the in-depth details, possible compositions, possible changes, etc. So all of that is going to be coming in when the game is actually live. So speaking of which, the first one is Blademaster Samuro. This is an amazing mercenary. You get it for free. You get him for free. And he is part of the best aggro composition. So to explain you why this is so amazing, he has a double strike ability, which attacks at 4 speed. It attacks an enemy, and if it was already damaged this turn, it attacks again and gains attack. We pair this with Burning Blade, which on passive increases the attack of this mercenary by up to 4. So he gains tons of attack, and he can, if he's attacking a caster, he can 2-shot any caster pretty much. Oh, sorry, 1-shot, because technically he's only attacking once if you already damaged it before. So he can 1-shot any caster. He just does tons of damage. He's an absolute beast, and as I mentioned in my review of the data mined mercenaries, I think he's one of the best, if not the best mercenary out there. Our next part on our orc composition is Thrall. So we have the old war chief, the shaman. Thrall has an attack that gives all the orcs actually attack. It's on 6 speed, so 6 or 5 speed. 5 speed, sorry. It's not going to be affecting Samuro on the first attack, but second go around, Samuro is going to go even bigger. And of course we give him Doom Hammer, which increases attack by further 5, and gives him Wind Fury, which means whenever he uses an attack action, he is going to attack the same target twice. which makes him another monster because he very quickly is going to increase his attack by... So he's going to go to 20 attack with his basic ability. He's going to go to 20 attack. He's going to attack twice. So again, if he's attacking a fighter, he can deal 80 damage. Just like that. So that's another potential one-shot. And just like that, you have seen two characters that can one-shot, which I was really caught off guard. Someone looking at that. Of course, that assumes that your opponent has a caster and a fighter without any taunts protecting them. So taunts and Divine Shield are going to be generally very, very powerful to have in your composition. So definitely worth looking at characters with taunts that don't have cooldown. Or Uther that gives Divine Shield to your whole party is absolutely amazing as well. So that's how you counter this, but generally this is a very strong melee composition, very strong attack, and those two characters in Orc composition or in any melee composition I think are a must-have. If you get Thrall, that's amazing. Blademaster Samuro we get for free, so it's going to be very easy to farm up. And the next character we have is Saurfang. So I know some people were already probably thinking what's going to be the third character, but no, I'm not going that route. So the comp that I was talking about earlier, the BXT, is using actually Thrall and Samuro, and is using one more character that's not an Orc, so I decided to not include it in here. But I'm going to be talking about that after I go through this whole composition. So Saurfang is the way that we are actually enabling the double strike on Samuro. He has a cooldown 1 ability on Whirlwind, which deals damage to your opponent and damages your own mercenaries or characters by 1. Where after that you can use Mobilizing Shout, which is going to increase the stats, Mobilizing Strike, sorry. And then we're using Saronite Stompers, which are going to increase the stats gain from Mobilizing Strike even further. The trick is that your mercenaries, your orcs need to be damaged. So you damage your own orcs with the Whirlwind, and then you use the Mobilizing Strike and make your orcs bigger and bigger, because it's essentially also healing them. Giving the stats also heals them. Not by a lot, but it does it by a certain amount. So, and it's not insignificant amount either, because even getting +4/+4 every turn, the Mobilizing Strike does not have cooldown, so we just need to get one Whirlwind off and then Mobilizing Strike. Of course, we won't be getting double strikes of Samuro at that point, but I think that's a good enough trade. Then we go to a surprise twist, because I just like doing those. So I'm going to be using Guldan here for the PvP comp to just switch the strategy a bit, which you've probably already seen. So Guldan is going to be with Staff of Chaos. On passive, after an Orc dies, Guldan gets +1 fell damage. So that's going to scale all the way to +4. And we do have Saurfang, which is going to be dropping tokens of Orcs. And then we have the opposing composition might also use Orcs, because it doesn't say a friendly Orc, it says an Orc dies. So if there's going to be, even in PvE, a situation where there's tons of Orcs that we're fighting, the Staff of Chaos might actually be quite good. And yeah, he has Reign of Distraction, he has the Giant Bolt as well, the Demon Bolt or something like that. It's very slow attack, deals tons of damage. It's on the caster, so you can deal with the protectors that way, and he's going to build up some fell damage that's going to increase that. Beside that, he has an Orc AoE heal, which sadly is Shadow, so fell damage is not increasing any of that. But his main damaging abilities, or rather the main damaging ability, is going to be boosted by Staff of Chaos, because we're not going to be using Reign of Distraction, essentially. Bolt of Chaos is going to be better. Or Chaos Bolt, one or the other. But yeah, final ability will be damaging an enemy and healing all your demons and all your orcs. So that's the idea behind Guldan in this composition, because he can heal your orcs. So far we had some orcs. We had mostly melee, then Guldan coming in. And then moving on, we're going to turn a bit, and we're going to go for Manarov, the demon whose blood was used to bind the orcs to the demons, the contract, manner of the massive demon that was killed by Gromash Hellscream in Warcraft 3 story. There is still a monument to it in World of Warcraft if you want to visit it. Manor is a good demon that increases the health of all your demons and has Howl of Terror, which is going to be reducing your opponent's attack. And as this is, as our front row was mostly a melee attackers, if we don't need Guldan, we can bring out Manoroth when they kill one of our mercenaries. And then Manoroth is just going to reduce their attack. We are using Fel Enhanced Lungs to deal some damage with it because Howl of Terror is faster than Samuro. So we can use that to enable Samuro's double strike as well as reducing the recoil damage from opposing characters. And then our final character is going to be the Elder Lord of the Burning Legion, Lord Jaraxxus himself. So Lord Jaraxxus is here for spawning demons. So Manoroth can give them health. The demons actually do increase their Fel damage by 6 total, including the Fel core equipment and their own effect. And that's going to be increasing the damage Lord Jaraxxus does with his Fist of Jaraxxus or his basic ability, which I totally forgot what it's called right now. Essentially, the basic ability deals damage and on death blow casts the respective Fist of Jaraxxus. In PvP, we might not get death blow that often, but Fist of Jaraxxus, if we manage to spawn a couple of Infernals and keep them alive with Manoroth, is going to do tons of damage, and then Fist of Jaraxxus is copied for each demon we have. We also have, of course, Guldan at that point that's going to be keeping our demons alive as well, because he has the AoE heal for both orcs and demons. So I decided to take the whole composition in the more demon way. I wanted to find something like that. I think this might not be fully optimal. I think there is a better way to do this. But I couldn't stop myself from putting Samuro and Thrall there because they're just way too strong. Saurfang can boost your orcs, so can make that melee composition even stronger. And now let's talk about the composition that everyone wanted to see. So this is the main 3 characters for the composition, and then you use some support characters in the back for this. But essentially the idea is you use Xyrella, who's going to be using the Binding Light, which is reducing the attack, and we reduce the attack further and increase the damage. And then you use Blademaster Samuro after that, which is going to be a good amount of damage. You should be able to kill or almost kill any character with 70 or so health. Or if it's a caster or protector, you should be able to kill it fairly easily. And then Thrall, as we said, Thrall on his own actually is able to deal 40 damage just on the first attack, and that's 5 speed attack. With Wind Fury and gaining that attack, he's just going to be enormous. So this is the composition that's there. And as mentioned, any sort of taunt, Divine Shield taunt would be absolutely amazing. This type of situation, attack reduction, so Xyrella is actually a really good counter to the same composition. You just use Xyrella on Blademaster Samuro, and then it's not going to deal as much damage. It's still going to do tons of damage, but not as much. Some healing, holy composition. So I heard a lot about that. I only just was made aware that this is actually as scary as it is, because killing 2 mercenaries pretty much every turn is going to be scary unless you can take it apart or counter it somehow. That's why I think that's where the Uter comes in with his Death Rattle that gives a Divine Shield to all your mercenaries. And then a small twist for the PvE today. I decided to go full orcs on PvE, just because I want to be able to swap in the orcs that I think are going to be working better there. So we have, as an addition to our initial comp, we keep everything up to Guldan, and then we have Rokara with Helm of Inspiration. So Offensive Rally gives an additional stats. What Offensive Rally does is a 2 speed, 1 cooldown ability that whenever any of your characters attacks, it gains stats. So we have Rokara to give even, we have the Helm of Inspiration to give even more stats. It's amazing if we can also enable characters like Samuro, We still keep Guldan on this composition because Guldan can provide that healing. Even though he's not a melee character, he can provide that healing. And we have a lot of interaction. Irokara also has an ability that gives her attack if you have another orc. And we have only orcs here. So Irokara is always going to be gaining that attack on her basic attack. And finally, we have Garrosh Hellscream. He has two very good abilities. One is a taunt that gives him health based on opposing units on board. And another one is Battle Shout, which gives all your orcs attack for the turn. Attack is only for the turn, but with Orcish Banner, it also heals all your orcs. So we have two versions of healing. We have Guldan, and then we have Garrosh to heal us against certain matchups. The reason why we have the Guldan in the composition is because sometimes it's good to have a caster if we're facing against all protector comp. We can go Thrall, Garrosh, and Guldan to not have that critical damage and be able to do some critical damage to the protectors. Otherwise, we do have a good split of fighters and protectors. We have 3 fighters, 2 protectors. So any other compositions we are able to cover. It's just nice to have that one caster that also does the support. If we have Garrosh and Guldan, it's going to be really hard to kill our mercenaries. Again, Garrosh stopping melee attacks and Guldan just generally healing all of your characters by a decent chunk of damage. And beside that, we also have Garrosh that's going to be healing all our orcs. And again, we have only orcs in this one. So this is the second composition we have for today. And yeah, I'm actually excited in both of them. I do think that the full orc one is better for PvE than PvP. In PvP, I definitely think that the Zyrella one is going to take a hold of it. But I do want to have something more tribe connected. Like, I get it that the BXT is really good composition, and it's probably going to be, for the first couple of days, it's going to be very prevalent until people work out the counters to it. I had some information that there might be some nerfs already coming, and someone mentioned in one of the comments that Lich King actually might be re-tagged as a human, not undead. If that's going to happen, the human comp is going to get way better. So let's see what happens, and we'll take it from there. For now, this was the last one that you're going to see from me until probably the weekend, as in the theory crafting. I am going to be streaming tomorrow. Make sure to subscribe and click that bell button for notifications to see when I'm going to be going live tomorrow. And what else? Yeah, there's going to be lots of streams. There's going to be lots of content coming for Mercenaries. And thank you guys for watching. I will see you around tomorrow. And I can't wait for the game mode to actually start. See you guys.